Hey everyone, this is Dark King Forever here with a new top 5 for you. On today's video, we're going to dive into a genre that's fun for everybody, it's stress relieving, and it's easy to pick up and play. These games are known as the beat 'em ups. Games that you can beat people ass and enjoy yourself, whether it's by yourself or with a friend. Now these top 5 games that I'm going to pick for today, these are games I spent hours on and had loads of fun. Now, with that being said, and without taking too much of your time, we're going to get started with our number 5. Here we go. Number 5. This game right here is called Young Souls, a game that was developed by the Arcade Crew. Now, this game is a unique twist in the beat 'em up genre because it's a beat 'em up slash with a dungeon crawler. So it has the length of an actual dungeon crawler, which is about 10 to 16 hours, but the gameplay is straight beat 'em up. Art style of the game gives me a look of between the 2D into 3D type effect. So you play as the two characters Jin and Tristan, the two teenagers that was abandoned and found by a good-hearted scientist. But as their life progresses and goes on, some trolls, actual trolls, come in and kidnap the scientist. And it's now up to the two of them to save the day. Go into the fictional world that's been presented in front of them, find mystical creatures, and kick ass. Now, the unique thing about this game is this game has a mature setting in terms of language, but it's no big deal. Come on, we all adults here. Who cares? Customize your gear with hundreds of weapons, armor sets, and accessories. So as you progress through the Goblin world, you get to play with the two characters, Jin and Tristan. Whether you play by yourself and you can switch between the two, or couch co-op. Unfortunately, this game does not have online multiplayer yet, I should say. This game recently came out in March, so hopefully a little later they probably add online co-op, which would be a blessing because this game is fun to play. When I first saw this game, I had to play it because I just loved how the intro was. These two characters was just down and out, and they came up being badass. Like, listen, we gotta fuck shit up. Now the game does have a nice introduction stage showing you the ropes of how to play the game, attacking, defending, and even switching between characters when you're playing the single player mode. But it also shows you getting defeated by the bosses, and then it goes back into the, oh yeah, here's 2 days ago, when this happened, when everything was nice and peaches and cream. So I definitely recommend checking this game out because in this game there's lots to do and a lot of fun playing it. So I definitely recommend you give it a try. Okay, on to the next one. Number 4. This game is called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. It was a game that was developed by Tribute Games and published by Dotemu. Now this game got me hyped when I first heard the announcement for it because I'm a huge fan of the old school Ninja Turtle games like Turtles in Time and also Manhattan Project. I used to love those games when I was a kid and I used to play it like crazy. So when I saw this game come out and I saw the graphics and I saw how they did the game, I had to play this game. So you get to play as the 4 original Turtles, Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, but you also get to play with Master Splinter and April O'Neil. Now the story is very simple. It's a typical Ninja Turtles story. Shredder's upset that he got his plans spoiled again by the Turtles, so he has to go bigger and badder. So as you progress through the story, you get to fight classic enemies like the Foot Gang, Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. So the fun thing about this game is the fact that you do have up to 6 players depending on the console, 4 for the PS4, 6 for the others. You get to play as 6 players at one time, which in my opinion, I think is a first. Originally just 4. But you can have 6 people come in there and the chaos is amazing. I'll never forget it when on my birthday, I actually was able to get 6 players to join my party. Well, it's 5 other players, I should say, join my party, and we played and me whooped Shredder's ass. And it was glorious. Another fun thing about this game is the music. The music is so good. I'll never forget playing against the Walter Shredder, and all of a sudden Ghostface Killer and the Wu-Tang Clan was in the singing a song, but they ain't told news. I'm like, oh my god, song is awesome. So the soundtrack is really good. That song is Two-Time Mine. Definitely this game is for everybody. For new people that's trying to come into beat 'em ups, experience, people that's a huge fan of the series, people that's trying to look into the series. This is for everybody. So I definitely recommend you try this game if you have a chance. Okay, moving on. Number 3. Now, before I get to anything, I have to say I'm a huge fan of this series. I love the movie, I love the comic books, and you know for sure I love the game. This is Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and the game was developed by Ubisoft. The game is about a 23-year-old named Scott Pilgrim that has to fight 7 evil exes for the love of his life, Ramona Flowers. Now, even though the movie came out a month prior to the game takes more of the comic book route in terms of story. So you get more details with the evil exes and the little hidden secrets that the comic book had, which I definitely recommend checking out as well. It was easy to pick up and play, whether you play by yourself or when you play with 3 other friends. You can either couch co-op or online. You get to play different characters. You get to play with Scott, Kim, Seth and Stills, as well as Ramona Flowers. And if you have the complete edition, you get to play with Kim Chow and Steven's roommate and friend that pays for everything, Wallace. As you progress through the game, defeating enemies and bosses, you gain experience that help you level up. But now when you level up, you get new abilities such as double jump and air dives. There are also stores that you can go into and buy items that will help you replenish health, build your stats, and even give you 1-ups. The game holds a lot of Easter eggs and nods to other gaming franchises such as Mario. For a prime example, if you search some boxes, you can punch them and coins will come out of them, as well as the world map looks like an homage to Mario 3. Now, another thing I have to say about this game before we move on is the soundtrack. The music in this game was amazing. From the very first time you pick up the game and play to the last fight in the game, the music will have you bumping your toes when shaking your hips. It was that damn good. Alright guys, gonna move on to the next one. Number 2. This game right here is Streets of Rage 4. It's a game that was made by Sega, but also reinvented by a company named .mu. Streets of Rage holds a special place in my heart because I'm a huge fan of the original 3. And yes, also I'm going to include the remake, which should have been released more to the public, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But Streets of Rage 4 came in and took everything about the franchise and magnified it. So the game is a lot longer than any of the previous Streets of Rage games. The game has 12 stages. That's a lot of stages, for real. And it's hella fun going through the game. Some are short, some are long, but still, overall fun. The story takes place 10 years after the original 3rd game, with the fall of Mr. X and his syndicate. The city has been in peace and everything has been fine. But, as you know the saying goes, all good things come to an end. The new crime faction has appeared, and it has been rumored to be Mr. X's twins, Mr. Y and Mrs. Y. So who's the characters that you play with? I'm going to answer that right now. You can former detective Axel Stones and Blaze Fielding, the 2 original characters from the series, as well as newcomers Cherry and Floyd. See, there are other characters that you can play with that you can unlock as you play through the game. So you start off with 4, but you end up with so many at the end. You get to play with an old classic favorite, Adam. Adam Hunter is back in this game, which is amazing. The cool thing about this story is the fact that you can actually save in between stages, so you don't have to worry about you getting game over and starting from the beginning. You can just start back on the stage that you got to beat it on, which is great. However, if you're looking for more of a challenge, there is an arcade mode that you go through the entire game in one go. And after that, there's a boss rush mode, which is, oh boy, challenging as hell. As well as a training area if you want to learn more and practice better. Now, the game came out with a DLC called Mr. X's Nightmare. With the DLC, it gave you 3 new characters: Max, the original character from Streets of Rage 2, Sheva, or Shiva. I got that name wrong. And as well as Estelle. Estelle is the boss character that you fought against in the main story. Now, the last part of the DLC was the survival game mode. This is the most fun you could have in this game. And the reason why I say that is because by playing the survivor mode, you unlock new abilities. Yes, you heard me. New abilities for each character, including the classic ones. You have to just go through the survival mode, score enough points that you can unlock new moves that, yes, you can also bring into the story in the arcade mode. Survivor mode stole hours of my time, and I think it will do the same for you. Now, number one is this game right here. It's called Sifu. It was made by Slow Clap, makers of another great game, Absolver. Now, this game asks you the question, do you like beat 'em ups, but also like getting your teeth kicked in? Because this game will say, yes, you do. Because this game is a combination of a beat 'em up with some soul-like, qualities. Now, this game will kick your ass and you will die a lot. But you do have a magic talisman that will help you revive at the spot to help you continue to kick that ass. Now, the only thing about it is every time you die and revive, you age up a bit. Now, they do have a death counter that shows you how many ages you will skip every time you die. And the only way you can reset that is by finding magic statues that will decrease your counter by 1, or defeating powerful enemies that you fight along the way. Now, if you continuously get defeated by enemies and age up, you will decrease in health, but you'll gain more damage to enemies. But if you manage to get to 70 and still unable to defeat the area and lie again, you will permanently die, ending your run at that level. You're able to start from that level again, but you'll start from the age that you started with at that stage. Now, when you start the game as a former student named Wayne who's seeking revenge. He breaks into a school, he throws hands with the students there, and he even fight his old Sifu, or master. Once defeating him, he finds a young character named Lee hiding in the shelf. When he refused to give up the talisman that Lee has in his hand, Lee is murdered and left there to die. But the talisman revives him. So then, the game turns into the main character of Lee. Lee can be either a boy or a girl, but Lee spends time growing up, practicing their skills to get revenge. You go through different stages, the squad, the club, the museum, and other stages seeking your revenge. Now, the question that you have to ask is, are you going to go in vengeance or are you seeking peace? The choice is yours. That's why I enjoy this game, because it is open-ended in terms of how you want to play the game. If you want to go in vengeance and kill everybody, you can. If you want to take a peaceful route and spare the bosses, you can. May feel enlightenment if you do. I definitely recommend you try this game as well. And this game is a number one because this game you want, like every other game I have on this list, still hours of your time, and it's fun. Alright guys, that was my top 5 games right there. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any comments, please put them down below. If you have any suggestions, please put them down below. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. Alright, Dark King Forever is out.